The heart of flames, heroes are born. Today I will share Thomas' story that will leave you speechless if you watch it till the end. So let's begin with the story. The rain fell steadily over the city, drumming against the rooftops like a relentless reminder of life's hardships. Thomas wiped sweat from his brow, even as hunger gnawed at him. He hadn't eaten all day, not that it mattered. Families displaced by last week's flood wandered the streets, cold, frightened, desperate. He had spent hours distributing blankets, food, and reassurance. Then the call came. A building on the far edge of the city was engulfed in flames. Without hesitation, Thomas raced toward it. Hunger, exhaustion, fear, they didn't matter. Only the people trapped inside mattered. Would you run towards danger if everyone else ran away? Which brings us to part 2, entering the fire. The fire roared like a living beast, consuming everything in its path. Smoke clawed at his lungs, heat pressed against his skin. But Thomas' mind remained focused. Inside, someone still in there, shouted a passerby. Thomas tightened his grip on his hose and charged forward. Children cried, adults shouted, flames crackled. Every step was dangerous, every breath could be his last. Fear existed, but action dominated. Bravery, he reminded himself, is acting despite fear. Real courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward anyway. Which brings us to part 3, rescuing. One by one, he guided people to safety, a mother clutching her baby, a young boy frozen in terror, and an elderly man trembling against the heat. His muscles screamed, lungs burned, but he barely noticed. Finally, in the top floor, he found the last child, a little girl no older than 7, eyes wide with terrors. Thomas froze for a heartbeat, her face so frightened and fragile, reminded him of his own little daughter waiting at home. "It's okay, I've got you," he whispered, lifting her into his arms. Her tiny hands clutched his neck as smoke curled around them. Every step down the staircase was a battle, but he moved with steady determination, each step fueled by love for this child and memory of his own. Sometimes courage is powered not just by duty, but by love you just carry for someone you cherish. Which brings us to part 4, exhaustion and reflection. They reached the street where paramedics took the child. Thomas leaned against the wall, drenched, suit covering his face. A neighbor offered a sandwich. "I'll eat later," he said softly. "They need me more." That night, in the quiet of the empty station, Thomas finally allowed himself to breathe. Fatigue pressed heavily against his body, but another weight settled, understanding. Bravery isn't performed for applause. It is performed for love. What drives a man to put himself last every single time? Which brings us to part 5, climax. A handwritten letter arrived the next morning. "You saved my son. You didn't just risk your life, you reminded us what courage truly is. Men like you, men like Thomas, they are brave for a reason." Thomas read it slowly, tears filling his eyes, not from pride but understanding. He thought of the little girl he carried down those stairs. He imagined his own daughter waiting at home and felt the weight of every father, every protector, every man who risked it all for someone else. Bravery is love made visible. Love that drives men to stand when the world whispers to sit. Love that drives them to protect, to provide, to endure. And in the understanding, Thomas let the tears fall. Men like him answered the call every day. Bravery wasn't a choice, it was a calling.